Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Thursday the 4th of September. This video is for education purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. Yes, I do apologize. I was away yesterday. I had meetings and I will have more meetings also next week. So there will be limited updates, but I will try to do my best. But let's start with Nasdaq 100, or less as usual. It bounced from the 55 moving average just above the spike down here from a couple of weeks ago, around 22,950, bounced from around that level, a little bit above, and again continued to bounce yesterday. So still this range here, 22,950. I subtract a little bit. If it's been taken out, then the key is 22,673. If it can move back above the spike up there, then the all-time highs could be challenged just below 24,000. But let's see about that. We do have RSI divergence indicating uptrend exhaustion. So, and September could be a little bit of volatile month usually. The pre-market, not much to report really. Let's see about the S&P 500. So let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on here. Also in this range, is still in a bullish trend until 6,343. If it closes below that, then it has been demolished. But the key support down here is 6,200. Is still the name of the game. Dow Jones testing the minor support here at 45,000. And the upper steep rising trend line, more like a guideline, but also here you can see divergence on the RSI indicating uptrend exhaustion. So we should see a correction. Same picture on S&P 500, obviously. Pre-market also in S&P 500, really not much change. So let's see what will happen later today. The on the Asian market, Hang Seng lower, back below this 25,176, like a pivot point, but the key support here at 24,775. 55 moving average coming up. So we are basically in a sideways range trading behavior that and if we add a horizontal line, it is in this region here around these levels here. Need to take out the peaks here for uptrend to resume. So it seems like we are in a range trading, but also here RSI divergence indicating uptrend exhaustion, but we just don't have a top and reversal in place just yet. And other than on the weekly, it looks very choppy. We had a bearish candle last week. We have another one this week, it seems. So I would be very cautious if it was me. And again, it's not a recommendation. If it was me trading the Hang Seng index, the Nikkei future bounced from the 50% retracement. If it closes above 43,040, uptrend could resume towards new highs above 44,000. On the European markets, well, EuroStoxx50 on Tuesday, bearish candle, very heavy sell-off. RSI testing 40 threshold, bounced off a little bit. Let's see if it can continue to bounce or will it dip lower. We are below the cloud. We are below 55 moving average, so it is challenged a bit. And if we're looking at the pre-market, seems like sellers are still a little bit in control. And if it takes out the lows there from the 2nd of September, then we could see a push down to 5,229, possibly down in the region around 5,150, 5,175, this region here. We could see sell off too. It really needs to get back above the cloud. It needs to get back above 5,400 to reverse this bearish outlook here. DAX also massive sell-off here on the 2nd of September. Didn't take out the support here at 23,380, but we are negative sentiment on the RSI, indicating like lowest levels. And if it closes below 23,380, well, then we could be looking at levels below 23,000. Pre-market basically unchanged. So moving on to the FX market. Moving on to the FX markets, well, the euro dollar caught range bound 117.45 at 115.80. That's the range here. Still negative sentiment on the other side, and it tells you that could likely to be to the downside. The breakout of this range here will be, but we'll wait for confirmation. The sterling dollar dipped lower and then bounced almost from the 61.8 retracement, and then bounced again back above this 133.90, 134 level here, which is key. So we are still in a little bit of a limit. However, lower low, lower high, and lower low. So especially when we're talking about closing, also spikes. So we are actually short term in a bearish trend. And it needs to get back about 136 to establish a bullish trend. So let's see if it can continue. But a lot of volatility going on also with the debt in the state debt in UK at the moment, and rising interest rates. The euro sterling rejected at the 786 retracement at 87.12. RSI failed to close back above 60 threshold, which was key. It is still in a positive sentiment, but it needs to close above for further upside potential. I think we'll see it, but this 87, 12, 15 needs to be taken out for a push higher towards higher levels towards 88. Still key support at 86, and I think it will hold. The dollar yen here spiked once again above the 200 moving average and above the minor resistance there. So can't really break the deadlock for real. I mean, it spiked higher, but then it got knocked back down again in this range here. So I think if it takes out the peak from yesterday, then I think it will get the mojo back, so to speak, and push towards 151. But it's not really, it doesn't seem strong enough. However, we do have positive sentiment on the RSI. So if RSI closes back above 60 threshold, and I think we forget the dollar yen to close back above 149, then we will see this bullish trend building up. The euro yen spiked above the 173 a couple of times, couldn't hold on there. We do have RSI flirting with the 60 threshold. Still positive sentiment, but there is divergence indicating trend exhaustion. However, I think we will see it move higher, but it couldn't really take off. It seems there's some really strong interest around 173 and a little bit above to send it back down. It actually got up to 173, 40, 41. So I think we will see that push to this another push higher, and we do have a higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are actually in a slightly rising trend there. Aussie yen got rejected there at 97, 30, 35 resistance. I think we could see setting back a little bit to 96, 20, maybe even 96, testing the support there, possibly the upper rising trend line. But I think we'll see it continue to push higher. What we can do, if you're a very short-term trader, I would add this and say, oh, the 38.2 retracement is just more or less on the support line there. So we could see it bounce there and then another push towards the resistance. We have the sterling yen. It is really the 200 spot, 25.30 level. That is really strong resistance. I'm not sure it will actually stay up there if it have another go. But if it takes out this for good and breaks above 200 spot 30, then I think we could see the push higher above 201. But for now, it seems to be struggling a bit. However, it is still above 55 moving average. It is above the cloud. All moving average pointing higher, so it should move higher in the coming days and weeks. But I want confirmation again. Support 197.85. Aussie dollar. Well, Aussie dollar hovering around the 786 retracement area here, just around 65.50 and 65 and a quarter. Rejected at the RSI 60 level, so still negative sentiment, so could be set back. And if it takes out the spike down there at 64.80, then I think we are down here in the region around 64.50. But this signal is not really clear on this one. But if we get above this peak here at 65.70, almost that a little bit, then I think we established a bullish trend. Dollar Canada bounced from the support here at 137.20 and continuing to bounce, and I think it will keep bouncing. RSI positive, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels. So we should see, again, it's not a recommendation and there's no certainty, but I think we will see dollar Canada pushing higher. This has higher highs and slightly higher lows there. And I think we could see it resuming higher trends towards 140 in a few weeks' time, but it will take a little bit of time. And first step will be a 61.8 retracement at 138.47 and 786 retracement at 138.80. Sterling Canada, that was a massive correction. It took some time before it really got to it. But then it dipped down to around this 61.8 and then bounced, and I think it can continue bouncing higher. And if it takes out 186.40, uptrend is likely to resume. Positive sentiment on the RSI got rejected there at 40 threshold, so I think we'll see it bouncing higher, especially if it can move back above the cloud, back above 186. There is some resistance in this area here, around this area, but I think we'll see it higher. Unless it takes out 184. If it drops below here, well, then we're looking at 183. We have Euro Swiss, well, just here around the 50 retracements, 50% retracement of this sell-off there. Sell-off, but this sliding back there. Can it get back above? Well, it is debatable. If it takes out the lows here at 93.15, well, then we're looking at 92.60.70. If it can get back above the 200 moving average, maybe it can bounce up to 786, rotation 94.25. Dollar Swiss, not really much action. Still in a bearish trend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And lower low here and maybe a lower high for now at least. So let's see about that. We can maybe draw a trend line from here to here, and if it starts breaking above that, well, then the uptrend maybe has resumed, and we can see that the RSI already broken above its falling trend line. So it could be an early warning, and we are still in a positive sentiment. Could be an early warning that the RSI is indicating that it will break higher, and I think it will do that above 81. Then above the cloud, then a bullish trend has resumed or been established. Dollar index range bound here between 97.45 and 98.73. And that will also be, I mean, the RSI is in a positive sentiment, so it seems like we are to the upside, but I want confirmation, so a close above that level is likely will indicate bullish trend. Gold, what a ride it has been when I've been way pushed higher, almost to 3,600. Didn't get all the way up there, but I think it will eventually, because positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating just that we are likely to push higher. We could, for now, have a little bit of a correction. I don't expect it to be that big, maybe down to 3,476, but the trend is fairly strong after breaking this deadlock here. And looking at the weekly chart, we can see also what's going on a little bit. It has broken this bullish out of this triangle-like pattern there, and RSI broken above the falling trend line. There is divergence on the RSI, but for now, the trend is your friend, and we do have a bullish trend. Got above the 38.2 projection of this correction. As you see, I have added this from the top to the bottom and then projected higher from the breakout price. And I think we could see up to the 61.8 at 3,650 one area in maybe a week or so, depending on what's going on, how big this correction could be. Silver also pushing higher. Not all-time high on silver though. We have to go really far back, however, to see where we are headed to, and we can see we are headed towards the 42.50, 43.50 area. These peaks here back from well, that was in 2011. Platinum also has now established a bullish trend, but got knocked down from the 1450 area, just above the 786 retracement. A correction kicking in, but I don't think it will be that big. And if it takes out the peak from yesterday, then expect the peak up here to be challenged, at least, and most likely also broken. Copper crawl higher and spiked above, but got rejected at the 465 and the 200 moving average resistance area here, and we could see a setback down to the lower rising trend line. If it takes out the spike from yesterday, which was at 467.50, well, then we could potentially see a push higher towards the 100 moving average, currently around 485, 486. But if it slides back, I think we will see a test of the rising trend line there in a couple of days. On the energy market, a bit of volatility really on the crude oil business here. WTI almost up to the 50% and the 55 moving average, and then knocked back down. Still negative sentiment on the RSI. I think the lows here will be challenged. I also think it will be taken out with a sliding lower towards $60. And you can see how the 55 moving average is really giving it a pressure to the downside. Brent crude oil, more or less the same picture, rejected there at 50% retracement, and the 55 moving average giving a pressure high. I think we'll see 65 being challenged there, and possibly a slight lower to 63, 62, 62 and a half area. Still negative sentiment on the RSI, indicating lower levels. The European nat gas hasn't done much really. If it moves back below 31, then I think we're looking at 29.20, possibly below 29. It needs to get back above 34 to demolish that picture. On the Henry Hub gas flirting here with the $3, I think we could test the 3.19 and the 55 moving average coming down there, and I think the RSI will be rejected at 60 threshold, and then we could see a little bit of a setback, but we could have another go. But all moving averages declining more or less, not the 21, but these 55, 100 and the 200 just flat. So they are trying to push it lower, so to speak. On the yield side, we have the US 10-year Treasury yield dipped below the 420 yesterday, stayed above, but as we speak, we are just on the 420 support there. So really key level there. Will it spike lower to 412 or will it bounce? Keep an eye on those levels, and that would be key here. We are in a negative sentiment, so we should see it sliding lower, but it's not a given. The European 10-year, well, still in a bullish trend, but it is fragile now after being rejected there just below 280, just around 280. So we could see it setting back a little bit. Support here at 267. The UK 10 spiked higher, and then it formed a top and reversal pattern, so we could see a bit of a setback here, possibly a correction, and let's get some of these Fibonacci levels on it. For now, we are very close to the 38.2 retracement. I'm not quite sure we will get much lower than that. I think it will turn around. Positive sentiment on the RSI, likely to push higher. And we also very quickly saw the 30-year spike higher, the highest we have seen in decades, but then step back a little bit, so we could also see a correction there. The Japanese 10-year rejected once again here at the 165 area, and then knocked back down, so that would be key. Will it break higher really, or will it set back to 157, possibly 153? On the Bitcoin side, we are still in a bearish trend, 107.25, 107,200 support area, 107,000. So let's see what was the actual lows there. Yeah, 107,250. Bounced up to 112, got knocked down. So let's see what it can do here. But a negative sentiment indicating lower levels, but I want confirmation. Let's see if it takes out that level. Ethereum finally, just trading sideways, really can't make up its mind. Will it push higher or will it also test the 4,066 key support? That will be a key question here the next few days, possibly over the weekend. All right, that's all for now. Have a nice day and talk to you again tomorrow.